All right, let's talk about it. The real reason why so many traders fail their funding challenges. And I'm going to give you a hint. It has almost nothing to do with the strategy you're using. No, it's something way deeper. And honestly, once you get this, you're going to look at trading in a completely different light, I promise.
So let's just get the bad news out of the way first. You see this number? 90%. That's not a typo. The statistics you've probably heard floating around, well, they're true. A massive 90% of traders either lose money or completely wash out of their funding challenges. It is a brutal, brutal number. But look, understanding why that number is so high, that's your ticket into the 10% club, the ones who actually make it.
And when things go south, what's the first thing we all do? We blame the strategy, right? You start thinking, is my moving average crossover broken? Or maybe I need to use this other indicator, the one everyone's talking about. We can spend weeks, even months, tinkering with our systems, absolutely convinced the problem is somewhere in the code of the charts. But what if it's not? What if the problem has nothing to do with your charts at all? Nope, it's not the strategy. The real killer, the thing that blows up more accounts than anything else, is a psychological collapse. It's that moment, you know the one, where your logical brain just shuts off and pure, raw emotion grabs the steering wheel. This right here, this is the invisible enemy that's way more dangerous than any market crash. Okay, so let's get into the anatomy of a meltdown. This downward spiral, it's not random. In fact, it's terrifyingly predictable. Let's walk through how a totally normal trading day can just completely fall apart and end in disaster. And I'm guessing for a lot of you, this is going to sound a little too familiar.
It always starts so innocently, doesn't it? Step 1, you take a couple of normal, acceptable losses. Maybe you're down 2%. No big deal, right? That's totally part of the plan. But then, step 2 happens. Your ego gets a little bruised. That frustration starts to bubble up, and you start hearing that little voice in your head, I've got to make this back, and I've got to do it right now. So what do? Step 3, you double your position size. You jump into a furious revenge trade. But here's the thing, the market doesn't care. It moves against you, and bam! Just like that, you're at minus 5.1%. And then you see it, that dreaded red screen. Your daily loss limit is violated. Game over.
And look, this isn't just some theory we're talking about. This is a real quote from a real trader. 25% of my account vaporized. Just like that. I was numb. Can you imagine? A quarter of your hard work just gone in a flash. And that feeling they describe, numbness, it's not just about the money. It's that feeling of being paralyzed, of just watching everything fall apart so fast.
That whole meltdown scenario, that's just one flavor of a much bigger problem, emotional trading. And it shows up in a lot of different ways. You know, you get that big win and suddenly you feel invincible, right? That's overconfidence. Or you start chasing these massive, totally unrealistic profits. But the big one, the one that causes the most damage, is that third one on the list, trying to make it all back. That's when you throw your entire risk management plan right out the window, the very plan that was supposed to keep you safe.
All right, so we've established the problem is this predictable psychological spiral. So what's the answer? Has to be something hard, something unemotional. It has to be a mathematical defense. I want you to think of it like a circuit breaker for your trading. It's a system you put in place that just automatically shuts everything down before the meltdown even has a chance to start.
And this chart right here, this really paints the picture, doesn't it? Look at this. When you actually break down why people fail, bad strategy is only 20% of the pie. The massive, overwhelming reason, 60%, is psychological rule violations. That's just a fancy way of saying people let their emotions take over and break their own rules. Even that poor risk management slice is tied to emotion. The strategy itself, it's a way smaller piece of the puzzle than most of us think.
So here's the solution. It's called a personal 2% hard stop. It's simple, but it's not easy. Here's the rule. If your account drops by 2% in a single day, you are done. You immediately close your trading platform, you walk away from the screen, and I mean no exceptions. We're not talking about, maybe one more trade. No, 2%, you're out.
So why does this actually work? It's powerful because it completely reframes what it means to stop trading for the day. It's not you admitting defeat. Not at all. It's you making a smart, strategic decision. You're basically saying, you know what? The market just isn't playing nice with my strategy today. And by walking away, you do two crucial things. You protect your money, and maybe even more importantly, you protect your mindset.
You live to fight another day, ready to go when conditions are better.
You know, the legendary trader Paul Tudor Jones put it perfectly. He said the most important rule is to play great defense, not great offense. And that's exactly what this is. Trading isn't about trying to hit a home run on every single trade. It's about protecting what you have so you can stay in the game long enough for those perfect pitches to come your way. Your 2% hard stop, that's your star defender. It's your goal live. And when you start using a rule like this, something really big starts to shift. It's more than just a rule. It's the foundation for a whole new way of thinking. This is how you go from thinking like a gambler who's just hoping to hit the jackpot to thinking like a professional business owner who is calmly and methodically managing risk. You know, it's funny. A lot of traders see the prop firm rules, like the daily loss limit, as these big, scary traps that are just there to make them fail. But that's totally the wrong way to look at it. They're not traps, they're filters. They're designed specifically to catch and remove that impulsive emotional trading we've been talking about. If you trade with discipline, those rules aren't a threat. They're actually your safety net.
So what does a professional trader's day look like? Well, they live and die by these habits. Number 1, they obviously set and respect a daily loss limit. But here's one that might surprise you. A lot of them also cap their daily profits. Yep, they hit their goal for the day and they walk away. Why? To avoid getting greedy or overconfident. And they never, ever increase their position size because they're feeling angry or excited. It's all about treating trading like a real business, not a trip to the casino.
At the end of the day, you have to remember this one thing. Trading is a marathon, not a sprint. It's all about longevity. You're not going to build a career off of one incredible, heroic trade. It just doesn't work that way. You build it slowly, day by day, by being consistent, by protecting your capital, and by just letting your strategy do its thing over the long haul. So I'm going to leave you with this one last question to really think about. Take a hard look at how you trade. Are you a gambler, just pulling the lever on a slot machine, hoping and praying for a jackpot? Or are you a business owner showing up every day to carefully, professionally manage risk for long-term sustainable growth? How you answer that question, well, that's going to decide everything.